Here's what I see all the time with people who want to start podcasts. They'll book a call on my website or send me an email. They'll have a rough idea about wanting to start a podcast. And they'll inevitably go to things like, what microphone do I need? What camera do I need? How can I make this look and sound perfect? And they'll spend all the time thinking about the idea, how they're going to implement it, potential guests, and then they never actually start. I would say about 75% of people I speak with never actually start. So the biggest lesson I can give you, and the easiest way to start a podcast, is just start your podcast. Start recording, press that record button. It's the one thing that so many people do not do, and it'll put you ahead of so many people who talk about starting podcasts versus people who actually start their podcasts. And there's a number of reasons why this is the best first step, and this is what I'm recommending to people who come to me now. Because you can spend all day, all week, all year thinking and trying to find the perfect idea for your podcast, because people overthink and they want it to be perfect from the start. So what I say to people now is, before you spend any money, don't buy any equipment, don't buy any cameras, don't hire an editor. Just go and record 3 episodes and allow them to be terrible. You don't need a studio, you don't need music or a jingle, you don't need a logo, you don't need any of that stuff. You just need to get over that challenge of pressing record. So you've got your rough idea, and that can be rough, and that's okay as well. Most ideas early on are rough. But what happens when you record first and figure it out later is a number of different things which will work in your benefit. Number 1, you find your natural rhythm. You find what's awkward and what's easy. Number 2, you see what's involved in the process. You start to figure out how much time it's going to take, because it's going to take you probably more than you expect. There's not just a recording of the actual episode, but there's a little bit of pre-planning. You know, you might have to arrange for guests to get on the call and speak to you. In the early stages, you might want to do the editing yourself, and you might want to do most of it yourself to keep your costs low, do your titles and your show notes, and that all is going to take time. Then you'll learn whether consistency, which is super important in growing a podcast, is going to be a challenge for you, because you do it 3 times and then you think to yourself, can I do this 30 more times? And most importantly, you get an idea of whether you're going to enjoy this process or not, which is, to me, it's really crucial before you start investing money. And it's the biggest reason why I think over 90% of podcasts don't get beyond episode 5, because they've had a challenge with one of those things. So by recording, and I say 3 episodes minimum, basically you figure out whether you love it and want to level up, or whether you realize you hate the sound of your own voice and you'd rather not. When both are wins. The biggest problem is that people think they should be perfect from the start. You know, that it's a competitive space and there's tons of other podcasts. And yes, that's all true. But the fact of the matter is that growing a podcast is hard and slow. And in those early stages, you're probably not going to have a lot of listeners. That's just fact. It's always small numbers, and it's organic growth. So you got to play the long game, and you got to build brick by brick, not try and put everything in at once. And what I see over and over again is people, they want to spend the money on the microphone. They want to spend the money on the cameras, and they want to spend the time and energy trying to make it perfect. And it's hard to figure out who their podcast is for and what the message is. And that's why I recommend don't spend anything. Just start. Don't spend a penny. Just use whatever inbuilt microphone you have. You know, you'll see in some of my other videos that I would say that they don't sound great, but that's okay. Allow it to be bad and think nobody's going to listen anyway. Let's just start. So really, I can't emphasize this enough. The clarity will always come from doing as opposed to planning. And it's just what I've seen. And I don't want to see more people waste time, energy, money on podcasts when they're never going to go anywhere. So really stop overthinking. Start your podcast, whatever your rough idea is. Just get started, hit record, get 3 people, line them up to be your interviewees. And you're just going to learn so much more that way. And then once you have that tangible thing to work with, then you can start thinking about strategy. You can start thinking about your audience. You can start thinking about the outcomes and all that good stuff. But you'll be in a momentum where you'll figure out if it's for you or if it's not. It is the best starting point if you're thinking about starting a podcast. So once you've recorded your 3 episodes, maybe you want to think about speaking with somebody who can give you feedback. If that's the case, I'm available. You can book a call in the link in the description below.